If you want the ability to produce stuff yourself, the currency has to get weaker. I could tell you how to solve the problem. I can't tell you how to get reelected. Solving the problem's easy. Don't be the world reserve currency. Gold, Bitcoin, devalue the dollar. China's not buying gold from Russia. They're settling trade with Russia in gold. Say that one more time. They are settling trade between each other in a neutral reserve asset. And who knows how much of it is being settled in Bitcoin. I don't think America is serious about building stuff itself until we do have manufacturing jobs again that are being paid as much as, lawyers. We need less lawyers and more people building stuff here. This is a huge deal that Bitcoin could take $10 billion of sell to the face and not even flinch. Why are stocks up? This is stocks against Bitcoin in the last year, down 32%. Why are stocks up? Correction, they're not up. Actually, they're down a lot.
Today's video, Jack Mallers warns, the US can't fix itself without killing the dollar, and Bitcoin may be the only way out. He breaks down why reserve currency status is now a liability, how weakening the dollar could revive US jobs, and why China and Russia are already settling trade in gold, maybe even Bitcoin. Mallers also explains why the $10 billion Bitcoin sell-off proves BTC is stronger than ever and why Wall Street is quietly repositioning. Stay tuned and hit the Telegram link below for exclusive Bitcoin insights.
Is it true that China was the one that didn't want war in the Middle East, not America? Seems like that is likely. Seems like that happened. But the bottom of this tweet is the signal here, guys. USD Dutch disease, meaning why would we build stuff if we can just print dollars? That's the disease. That's the Triffin's dilemma, is that you're importing real shit in exchange for a piece of paper you print. Inevitably, that's not going to scale. One day that's going to fail. One day that's not going to work. You're not going to get rare earths and food and precious metals and industrial equipment and all the stuff that we consume. This microphone, my computer, this espresso, like all of the things that I consume. One day, the people that produce it aren't going to want the pieces of paper that we're printing. And at this point, it's a national security threat. At this point, it isn't about left, right, blue, red, economic policy, low rates, high rates. It's about the United States is severely threatened at the moment with its inability to stand on its own 2 feet. And that starts at the currency level. If you want the ability to produce stuff yourself, the currency has to get weaker. We have to be able to invest locally and employ locally. Implied in that is the US not being the world reserve currency. Like I said, it all starts with the reserve status. I could tell you how to solve the problem. I can't tell you how to get reelected. Solving the problem's easy. Don't be the world reserve currency. Gold, Bitcoin, devalue the dollar. All of a sudden, manufacturing jobs, manual labor jobs, we're reproducing again, bringing back jobs out of China to the United States. But the dollar's got to go down a lot. Gold and Bitcoin have to go up a lot. Is it politically popular? They're working on it. They're working on making it politically popular. They're trying to take Bitcoin and gold and put it in your 401k. They're trying to regulate around it. They're trying to politically maneuver headlines and stories about how the Fed is stupid and it's their fault. They're trying to make it politically popular. Whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. But that's the solution, guys. Next, from Bloomberg, Russian precious metals sales to China hit 1 billion. I thought this was funny and I'd throw it in here because this isn't a sale. China's not buying gold from Russia. They're settling trade with Russia in gold. Say that one more time. The American mind and the American media can't wrap their head around what's happening. Bloomberg reported that China is buying precious metals from Russia. No, they are settling trade between each other in a neutral reserve asset. And who knows how much of it is being settled in Bitcoin. We've already been reported on this show that they've explored settling in Bitcoin. This is settlement in gold. This is not purchasing from. We already know that China imported 1,000 tons of gold last year. We already know that. The relationship between Russia and China when it comes to gold and the BRICS nations is about settlement. They're settling outstanding balances in a neutral reserve asset, not the US dollar. The American media still has not wrapped their head around this, guys. Still has not wrapped their head around this. Wall Street Journal, SoftBank and OpenAI's $500 billion AI project struggled to get off the ground. Okay? We're going to start to see this. There were tons of announcements when Trump got elected. For those that don't know, Trump and SoftBank and OpenAI went to the White House. They announced this $500 billion project, but there's been some difficulty. And if you read the story, it's in financing it. It's in decisions at the margins of where to put these. Listen, the point is, not to get overcritical of anyone, the point is there's a lot of money and a lot of real work that has to go in to building stuff ourselves. It's not going to be like flipping a switch. And by the way, I don't think America is serious about building stuff itself until we do have manufacturing jobs, again, that are being paid as much as, lawyers. We need less lawyers and more people building stuff here. And I think you're going to start to see that equilibrium. You know what AI can't do? Build physical shit. So is China winning the AI race? I think this is going to continue to be a headline. It's going to continue to be a story because the US has limits when it comes to the physical nature of producing stuff in the country. So not only this, but now Zuckerberg, this one's from Reuters. Meta Zuckerberg pledges hundreds of billions of dollars for AI data centers and a superintelligence push. So we're going to keep seeing these headlines, but what does this require? This requires employing people locally. That means the dollar needs to get weaker for this to be sustainable. If you have a strong dollar, then local labor is not economical. Again, this is a very long way of me saying the AI race is important. America needs to remain superior on the technology front. It has to win the AI race, but the AI requires physical power as well. The dollar has to weaken so that Zuckerberg, OpenAI, SoftBank, these people can employ folks locally in the country. You're hearing it from the President of the United States. Lower rates as close to zero as possible. The Fed's reputation is dead. We're re-architecting the global financial system. I like a weaker dollar. A stronger dollar only sounds good. We're getting a weak dollar. We have to start producing things locally. Again and again and again and again and again, I'm saying the same message over and over and over, but they're now saying the quiet part out loud. All these news articles, all of Bessent's appearances on the TV screen, all of Trump's media appearances walking into the Fed building, they're all telling the same story, guys. They're all telling the same story. Next, last, just a Bitcoin section. This is Bitcoin news. Slaying the killer bear whale. Okay. For those that don't know, there was an OG Bitcoiner that supposedly sold 80,000 Bitcoin, which is worth over $9 billion at the time. Okay. Galaxy came out and reported that they executed this. It was the largest, trade in Bitcoin history, blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I wanted to give you my take. I tweeted, the market absorbing 80,000 Bitcoin, which is around $10 billion in days with barely a blip is a big deal. Bitcoin isn't fragile. Armchair analysts warning about treasury sell-offs crashing Bitcoin might want to think again. It's going to take orders of magnitude more than 80,000 Bitcoin to stop what's coming. My point is, what we hear all the time is that all these treasury companies are creating systemic risk in Bitcoin, and when they blow up, they're going to crash the price. Well, newsflash. At 21, we hold the third largest position in the world when it comes to Bitcoin corporate treasuries. MicroStrategy is number one. We own 37,000. I just went over this in the beginning of the show. A little over 37,000 in our proof of reserves. Strategy over 600,000. All these other companies are too small to matter. If you were to take all of these companies and add them all together and say they all sold at the same time, it would be less than the 80,000 that was just sold all at once. The notion, and I call them armchair analysts, that said, yes, this looks frothy, this looks hype, this looks like tulips, this is surely going to blow up the Bitcoin market. Oh, riddle me, how the hell did someone just market dump 80,000 Bitcoin? We went down like 4 or 5% for a day, and we're right back to where we were beforehand. Explain to me again, if you have a brain cell, how these treasury companies are causing systemic risk to Bitcoin? Seriously, explain that to me. This is a huge deal that Bitcoin could take $10 billion of sell to the face and not even flinch. Because by the way, guys, a lot of money managers position their size based on liquidity. There's a lot of people with a lot of money to manage that only have 1 to 2% of their capital in Bitcoin because it was never clear how liquid Bitcoin was for them, how Bitcoin would fare if someone had to get off a lot of Bitcoin to the market. I guarantee you people are reposition sizing after this, and the notion that treasury companies are causing systemic risk, it is now an objective fact that you're going to need orders of magnitude more than 80,000. So not 81,000, not 85,000, not 95,000, not 100,000. You're going to need hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin to be sold at market at once for maybe Bitcoin to flinch. But we don't even know that. I mean, Saylor's out raising billions of dollars. It feels like a week. The ETFs might have $100 billion under management by the end of this year. You're going to need a lot of Bitcoin to stop what's coming, and I just do not see it. The whole idea is there's a supply-demand imbalance. I do not see the sell side supply part that's going to match the amount of demand. I just do not see it. And all the people that think they have it all figured out and the next bear market's going to be caused by the treasury companies, guys, I'm doing the math. Go pull up, whatever the website is, bitcointreasuries.net, and add up all the companies that you think are going to blow up. They don't come close to totaling 80,000 together. They do not come close. So I would say that these companies aren't big enough to cause systemic risk to the downside, but they are important enough to cause pressure to the upside because all of us together are buying Bitcoin at once. But each business carries independent risk. Each business has different leverage, different risk, different balance sheet, okay? It's not like when one treasury company blows up, we all blow up. That's not true. Like 21 is managed incredibly well. We have no fears. And everything is public. I file everything with the SEC. So just wanted to say that out loud. Kind of, thought it was a great example to prove how just ridiculous the idea that, all the armchair analysts on TV have figured this bear market and bull market out. Fuck out of here. And then the last one, Pomp, tweeted the screenshot from what looks like the Wall Street Journal. Why are stocks up? Nobody knows. And he says there are more buyers than sellers. I just want to remind everyone, stocks aren't up. If you measure in dollars, they're up. But us here on the Jack Mallard Show, we don't measure in dollars. This is stocks against Bitcoin in the last year, down 32%. This is stocks against Bitcoin in the last 5 years, down 81%. This is stocks against Bitcoin in the last 10 years, down 99%. So going back to the tweet, why are stocks up? Correction, they're not up. Actually, they're down a lot. Depends on what you're measuring in. So it's not that there are more buyers than sellers. It's because they're printing money. That's why they're up. Hot shot. That's why they're up. They're not up. They're not even close. Over the last 10 years, they're down 99%.